As a huge fan of dinosaur games in general and a lover of giant mechs, Exoprimal stands to be a compelling game for those of us who love slaughtering mindless waves of enemies in style, while unleashing flashy and punchy moves in a variety of different exosuit-style mechs. Do you love a good over-the-top crazy shooter, and if so, which one has been your favourite? Tell us down below. Earth Defense Force comes to mind for me, and definitely has some parallels to Exoprimal, but it is quite different at the same time. I'd love to know what games you have played or are currently playing that is comparable to Exoprimal here. Tell me down below. But the first thing that you should know is that you can actually play Exoprimal for yourself in its upcoming public open beta that launches on March 17th at midnight. It will last for 2 days and will run from March 17th to March 19th and will be free to play for everybody. This is by far the best way to try out the game for yourself and see if it's your thing. And it also features full cross-platform play between its playable platforms, which are Steam, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows, PS4 and PS5. So wherever you and your friends play, you can team up and take down some dinos or enemy exosuits together. But what exactly can you expect to be doing in this beta, and what is Exoprimal? Well, it's an online, team-based, third-person action game that lets you play in humanity's cutting-edge exosuit technology against history's most ferocious beasts, the dinosaurs. Think of it like mechs from Warframe or Anthem, except this time you're fighting waves of all kinds of different dinosaur varieties as you level up, earn gear, and face off against other players. The game is set in the year 2040, when a sudden dinosaur outbreak has taken over the whole world, and now humanity's existence is threatened. In the beta, you're going to create your own character with the character creator, which is pretty limited if I'm honest, but does let you create something more or less unique to you. You'll also have an AI guide you through missions and objectives called Leviathan, and it's often seen as a surveillance drone called a Watcher. Basically, think of Leviathan as your guide and announcer in-game. Within the demo though, you're going to have access to the Dino Survival mode. In this, you play as a squad of 5 players and you race to complete objectives against another squad of 5 players. The speed at which you complete these objectives will increase your team's chance of winning the final face-off at the end, often pitting you directly against the enemy team in a variety of different objective-based game modes with a side helping of PvP. Each objective that you complete within a match can be different to the last time you played it, and the more that you play, the more modes you seem to unlock. Although overall the match each time is fairly similar, each individual challenge and end task is usually different, making it a somewhat fresh experience each time. While playing, you'll have access to a bunch of different exosuits that each have their own stats and abilities to complement different playstyles and team roles. Speaking of roles, these exosuits are grouped into different roles, which you can think of more like classes. Assault exosuits focus on dealing damage to enemies with close, medium, or long-ranged attacks. Although the exact loadout will differ suit to suit, each assault exosuit is equipped with weapons and abilities tailored to dealing damage and killing dinosaurs. The tank exosuits specialize in protecting their allies by drawing enemy attacks to themselves and absorbing damage for their team. So if the idea of holding the line against a massive horde of dinos or standing in the way of more dangerous enemies sounds like your thing, then the tank exosuits will be your go-to. Meanwhile, the support exosuits use a variety of abilities to ensure your squad's survival. With the ability to repair allied exosuits, as well as buffing and debuffing capabilities, the support exosuit acts as the backbone of your squad, because without them, the dinosaurs will eventually whittle down even the tankiest of exosuits' health in no time. So you will definitely want some support exosuits on your team to complete your objectives even faster and improve your overall team's combat effectiveness. When it comes to the gameplay though, it reminded us a lot of Lost Planet. It's a bunch of fun to lay down a ton of firepower into waves of smaller dinosaurs, giving you that satisfying feeling of power. Meanwhile, when larger, more threatening dinos attack you, you do get a rush of adrenaline as you try to kite and manage your own health while dishing out enough damage to not let your squad fall behind. The whole match has a background feeling of pressure due to the fact that you're racing against another team to get your objectives completed faster than theirs. However, along with this aspect comes possibly one of the most fun things about the game, which is the Dominator mechanic. It seems that if your team is behind the enemy squad, then you get to use the Dominator, which is where you can spawn in a high threat level dinosaur to use yourself to invade the enemy team. Killing the enemy team one by one as a giant dinosaur, all the while knowing that your team is crawling back time doing objectives, was definitely a highlight of the gameplay and a very unique feature. We always love a good invade mechanic in multiplayer games, and this one felt very satisfying. As a multiplayer game, it's definitely going to rely a lot on teamwork, and this is a huge factor to victory. Having the correct comp of assault, tank, and support exosuits on your team plays a massive role in how fast you can do the objectives, and these suits can be switched out at any time in-game, which is quite a nice touch. We can see some of the objectives getting a bit repetitive if you play this game a lot every single day, but due to the fact that the objectives themselves can change and be different from match to match, did make it feel a little fresh. Personally, I do love PvP in my games, so I really did enjoy the PvP side of things towards the end of the match. It was intense, fun, and definitely has a learning curve and lots of team play required. However, a majority of the game is played in PvE, and it does seem a little disjointed to go from PvE to PvP, and I can see why this would be a turn-off for some people who just want to team up with their buddies and take out some dinosaurs in a more chill environment. But maybe more game modes will be supported in the future without PvP in them. We shall have to wait and see. But overall, I had a surprisingly fun time playing Exoprimal. Each exosuit felt unique and fun to play, the dinosaur variety was very interesting, and I didn't even get to experience all of them for myself. Due to the emphasis on multiplayer and co-op, I definitely see this being a very fun game to play with friends, but I did do several games solo, and I still had a good time there too. So what do you think? Does it look like something you'll play or not? Tell us in the comments down below. And the two videos on screen now we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. You don't have to click them if you don't want to, but if you did find this video interesting or helpful, you're probably going to like these ones as well. And then tell us what you think after watching in the comments down below.